So, hello everyone. Welcome to our workshop for the day, Entertainment Contracts, How to Avoid Red Flags and Scams. Now, I know what you're thinking. Russians are not here, so don't worry. That's not the type of red flag we're talking about. Tonight, we have with us Chloe Balland. She's a best-selling author. So it is my utmost pleasure to have her as the opening speaker for this workshop. Everyone, please give a hand to Chloe Balland.
So thank you, Eddie, for this great introduction. So basically, I was just asked to talk to you guys because this year's theme for the festival is Empowering Artists. So it's an honor for me to be speaking at the festival because of that reason. This year we have 7 categories for this festival, for this edition. We have documentary, music, cinematography, rising filmmaker, first-time directors, and actress, actor, and director, and also the first-time female cinematography nominee, which is rare. We have Olivia Kwan and Margot Magus, and then both of them have been tied. And the Red Awards winner will receive an automatic distribution offer from Shadi Media Group, which is great, because we don't often get that to festivals, I can tell you. So for those who don't know me, I was born and raised in Montreal, more specifically in the South Shore, in Brossard, the other side of the bridge. So I live now in North Hollywood, California, close to Burbank, where I work as a freelance editor, and I pursue also my career or my passion basically as a screenwriter. At first I thought it was just going to be a career, you get an agent and you get gigs and work, but really I came to realize that I don't like to work as a writer and then write on demand. I prefer writing because it's a passion project and this is a choice that I made. So basically, they also asked me to talk a little bit about myself. So basically in the past 10 years I've won multiple accolades for both writing and editing. I specialize into movie trailers when I edit. I also get all kind of gigs, like for example, a month ago basically, I was an assistant editor on World Dance with Jennifer Lopez. I didn't meet her, by the way, it was just behind the scenes. But it was a fun gig. It was I learned a lot from that. And I also, last year, exactly same date, which Facebook just reminded me, I was actually one of the 14 writers at a resort in Jamaica. It was a writer's retreat, and you had to be selected to do that. And we were spending the week getting coached by Peter Craig. Just to name a few, Peter Craig's the writer of The Town, The Hunger Games, and other big movies. He's more into action flicks. And I also got coached by Steven D'Souza. That was one of my favorite. He's a legendary writer of Commando, Die Hard, and Running Man, and like a bunch of big movies the classics of the 90s, I would say. But he's a great guy. So basically, my first passion is writing, as you can tell, for TV and film. But recently, I also published my first book. It was the first time actually that I got a chance to speak about myself rather than writing a character or writing a story. And that was a little hard because then you have to open your heart and open yourself to whatever people have to say about your story. And basically, the book is called Invincible. And my chapter is a collab between me and 14 other writers, all women, and that have different stories about how they went from zero to hero and achieved transformational success. My chapter focuses more on my road from Montreal to Hollywood, and there was a lot of roadblocks in between, because as you know, it's either you get married and get a green card, or you get a green card for other needs. So basically, I had to go through a lot of things to get the green card and even eventually get eligible for individual with extraordinary abilities in film. I always have a problem pronouncing that, but then, yeah. So that's how I got in, and it was not easy, I could tell, because when I started the process, I wasn't even eligible at all, and my lawyer even kind of said, well, is there somebody you can marry? And I said, no, this is not something I'm open to, seriously. But then we worked, and I kind of surprised him when I came back exactly a year later, and I had quit my job just to focus on qualifying for the green card, and then I got it. So it was one of the biggest moments of my life, seriously. So basically, what I wanted to get to that, the takeaway from my book and my story, and the reason why I'm talking to you today, is that I think that sorry about this. The journey, basically, we all have this point in common is that the journey of a filmmaker, whether you're a writer, director, any type of key creative person in the film industry, our journey is more like an iceberg. Like you see, like people will see the 10% that's off the surface, to see the red carpets, to see when you win things, the things that you post in the social media. But the 90% that they don't see is the thing that we literally don't talk about, and it's most of the work that we do. And I would say that basically, for example, working a day job while writing and producing a movie on your own budget, and then traveling the world to attend film functions to make that movie happen and then possibly get the distribution deals. And then also getting excited because a producer wants to read your script, and then only to find out that months later the deal fall flat, and then you have to start over. I mean, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I see your reaction here. It's just everybody went through at least one of those scenarios. And of course, there's also the family's disapproval. You know, they always, how many times do you hear it? Like, get a real job, stop auditioning, whatever. Things like that, and I've been through all of these things, and then I can just tell you that if you're still here today, trying to make things happen and get your foot in the door, it's because you really have a passion for what you do. And passion is really what keeps me going. And also, the only way that I was able to get past all those roadblocks that I told you about, or those examples, for example, to not get into too much details, is that I was going in not thinking about who's going to stop me, but rather who's going to let me. And that's really how I got my green card, because there was like a lot of roadblocks over there of what I can't do and how I cannot be eligible. But I started looking at it from a different perspective, and that's really how I got from zero to hero, and that's really what I talk about in my book. So back to the Red Awards. As I mentioned, this year's theme is Empowering Artists. So basically, I would just like to congratulate the films that was the most nominations this year, which are Point Defiance and CG Driver, both tied at 6, by the way. That's really good. And also for all the filmmakers that have submitted and participated, I think that I encourage basically, for all the reasons that I mentioned before, since you have a passion for what you do, I just encourage you to keep making movies and leave your mark into this world. Because basically by doing so, you're contributing to the advancement of the most powerful storytelling art form. And I believe that your work matters, and each and every one of you is contributing to art by what you're doing. And honestly, on this note, I'd like to pass over the floor to Eddie Cara, the festival director, and welcome again to 2018 International Red Awards. Sorry.
So, thank you so much, Chloe. And with that, I call to order today's conference. Thank you all for being here. Let's begin with our workshop with our 2-minute break.